effectively, this is what the situation is. Obviously, we found out yesterday that Anthony Martial hasn't been disgusting, really, isn't it? Man United haven't banished Anthony Martial. He's not had a fallout with Ten Hag. He's got an injury and he's recovering from that. The truth will out, I suppose, in the end. And I don't blame any United fan who reacted to that in a bad way, by the way, because you do get, you're hungry for change, aren't you? Everybody is. But reality is, Martial probably, highly likely, isn't going to leave in January. But will that prevent Man United doing something? Because it's one thing to say we need to move Martial up. The way I think about it is this. I personally think we're going to do something. I think we're going to do something in the January transfer market because I think that there has to be some expectation that happens. And it can't just be totally and utterly determined by Anthony Martial going or staying. It can't be, because why would you do that? Why would you have zero money unless Anthony Martial goes? I think that there has to be some opportunity for Manchester United to do something, and I think that they will. And I'll go back to this. This is what Fabrizio Romano said this week about Choupo-Moting at Bayern Munich. They are hoping for him to stay, but if an English club comes in with some money for a loan deal, then the situation could still be open. He's probably the only player who can leave Bayern Munich this January transfer window. I think if we're going to do anything, it's going to be Choupo-Moting, and he isn't. Some people think he's part of the AFCON. He isn't. He didn't get called up by Cameroon, did he? So he is still a player there that Manchester United can do a deal for. And remember, at the start of the window, it was Werner, it was Malen, it was it was Guirassy, or it was Choupo-Moting. Well, Werner's gone. Malen's too expensive. Guirassy is a permanent deal. So I do think that Choupo-Moting is a player that Man United will look at in the next week, and they may push for it, and I think they've probably got the money to do it. I think people understand what this player is all about, and we're going to compare him to Rasmus and Harry Kane in a moment, but I mean, I don't know. I think that what are your thoughts on Patrice Evra? I've got no thoughts on him, Son, at the moment. Thank you very much. I'm sorry to be a blunt and rude, but get with the wake up, get with the show. Come on. What's Evra got to do with anything we're talking about at the moment? Kev was top notch last night. Brilliant debut from a United Stand legend. Loved that from Kev last night. Love to see the love in the chat. Some people are saying I'd rather have nobody. Mike says Stoke reject. Let me just tell you about Choupo-Moting. Let me just get into this. So stats for this season comparing Choupo-Moting to Harry Kane and Rasmus Højlund, right? Age 34, Rasmus is 20, Kane is 30. Matches played, they've all played over 20 games this season. Successful defensive actions, 2.6 for Kane, 2.1 for Rasmus, 3.1 for Choupo-Moting. Defensive duels won, 50% for Choupo-Moting, 56 for Rasmus, 59 for Kane. Aerial duels won, they're all around 3. That's all the defensive side of things. And look, let's have a look at the more specific things that are relevant to their position. Goals per 90, 0.33 for Højlund, 0.38 for Choupo-Moting, and 1.07 for Kane, who's blitzing it there. Shots per 90, 3.2 for Kane, 3.1 for Choupo-Moting, 1.7 for Rasmus. Goal conversion, 33% goal conversion for Kane in relation to chances, 20% for Rasmus, 12% for Choupo-Moting. Touches in the box, 6 for Choupo-Moting, 3.5 for Rasmus, and 3.8 for Kane. Key passes per 90, 0.45 for Rasmus, 0.8 for Kane, 0.75 for Choupo-Moting. Accurate passes, 83% Choupo-Moting, 78% Højlund, and 74% Kane. And very interesting, dribbles per 90, 1.8 for Kane, 2 for Rasmus, 4.5 for Choupo-Moting, with a success rate of 55% compared to Rasmus's 44%. So, look, yeah, you can call Choupo-Moting a Stoke rejects, you certainly can. But I think what you've got there is a physical, athletic player, even though he's 34, who's actually reasonably good on the ball. This is not the answer for Manchester United. Pep Guardiola is not going to have sleepless nights thinking about Man United bringing Choupo-Moting in. This is very much a Weghorst and Ighalo type deal. But it's not. It's not. I actually think he's better than Ighalo and Weghorst. And some people would say that's not hard to do, Mark, but this is the level that Manchester United are at. And He is, of course, he's worse than Rasmus Youngking. I mean, what do you think we're going to do in the January transfer market? It frustrates me that some of our fans just haven't got a fucking clue about what the situation is at Manchester United. We're not in a good position. We're going to talk about the financial rumours in a moment. We're not in a good financial situation. We are literally going to do nothing or do something similar to Ighalo and Weghorst. That's your choice. I said this about Werner. I'd take Werner every day of the week over nothing, and I'll take Choupo-Moting every day of the week over nothing. It's a very... We can all argue about how sad and embarrassing that is, but when you're desperate, when you're hungry, and you're walking around starving on the streets, and somebody offers you some stale bread, are you going to go, I'd rather not, or are you going to gobble it up because you're starving? And look, we can talk about why we're starving. We're going to talk about that in a minute, but... deal in a reality. Stop being a snobby little, stop snobby little bitch, and realise that the reality of Manchester United is we are not going to go out and buy somebody like Victor Osimhen. We are stuck in a situation that is a reality. I said last night, I don't really understand why the Glazer out movement stopped. I don't. People were trusting that they were going to sell and they didn't. I don't really understand what people think has changed just because Sir Jim's come in with 25%. He's got a massive job ahead of him. It seems to me we've had this sale of 25% and people think we're loaded. We're not loaded. We've got no money. And how we're going to change that situation is going to be very interesting. But right here, right now in the January transfer window, if there's a fan out there that's sitting there going, I'd rather not have Choupo-Moting, I don't understand that. I'm sorry. Because it really is a choice between nothing or something. And if Rasmus gets injured and Rashford gets injured, you're all going to go, we should have got Choupo-Moting. It's really it's spoiled. It's spoiled behaviour, that's what it is. It's spoiled behaviour, not dealing in reality. It's waking up on Christmas Day morning and not getting a PS5 and then moaning because your parents could only afford you, a fake Timberland jacket and throwing it on the floor and saying, I don't want that. It's spoiled. It's a reality. It's all they can afford. It's not great, but you just got to grin and bear it. And I think that I might be in the minority here, but I will take Choupo-Moting over nothing. 100%. I think if that's all we can do, that's all we can do. And we're not exclusively owned by the Glazers anymore. When we did this with Weghorst and Ighalo, you're still owned by the Glazers and you're like, oh my God, this is just ridiculous. If this is the last time we do this and Sir Jim's going to change things, then let's just do it for the last time. I'd rather do something than nothing. And Goldbridge, that's the end of the clip. I'm sure you enjoyed it. In fact, I bet that's the best clip you've ever watched. So there's no reason not to subscribe to the channel, click the bell icon so you never miss a clip again. In fact, smash a like on the video because we all know only legends like videos and you are all legends. So please smash a like on the video and we will see you again on the next one. Thank you very much for watching as always.